You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, bringing you live exclusive radio commentary at the O2 Arena in this battle for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world.
Our main event of the evening, 10 2-minute rounds for the inaugural WBC Elizabethan Championship and for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. This fight is presented by Boxer in association with Salida Promotions and Hennessy Sports, by promoter Ben Shalom, and presented by our official partners 365, Everlast, Village Hotels, Wow Hydrate, and FCI Markets. Our supervisors, Marina Palatin, Kevin Noon, Melvina Lathan, and Dr. Nina Radcliffe. From the British Boxing Board of Control, our representative Robert Smith, our area representative Lisa Wild, our timekeeper Brett Bowles, and our supervisor Guy Williamson. Our judges at ringside, Steve Gray, Frank Lombardi, and Luigi Buscarelli. And our referee, when the bell rings, Mr. Victor Laughlin. So, London, I need you all to get up out of your seats, raise your drinks high, and get wild. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. She stands 5 feet, 11 1/2 inches tall. She weighed in at 11 stone, 5 pounds, 5 ounces. She comes to us with an undefeated record of 12 wins, 0 losses, with 10 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Hartlepool, England. Introducing the 2-time Olympian and the reigning, defending WBO Women's Middleweight Champion of the World, Savannah, the Silent Assassin, Marshall. And her opponent, fighting out of the red corner. She stands 5 feet, 8 inches tall. She weighed in at 11 stone, 5 pounds, 5 ounces. She comes to us with an undefeated record of 12 wins, 0 losses, 2 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Flint, Michigan, USA. Introducing the undefeated, the 12-belt holder across 3 weight divisions, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and the current reigning, defending WBA, WBC, IBF, and Ring Magazine champion of the world. She is the GOAT, Claressa Shields.
Referee Victor Laughlin brings the 2 boxers
Okay, ladies,
together.
you've had your instructions. Remember, obey my commands at all time. Defend yourselves at all time. God bless. Touch them.
Well, 2 undefeated world champions here at the O2 Arena in a generational encounter. 2 great fighters facing off to determine who is the better boxer and the undisputed boss of the 160-pound middleweight division. Undefeated world middleweight champions answer the opening bell and head towards their destinies that will be determined over the next 20 minutes or less. 10 2-minute rounds for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world between the WBO champion Savannah Marshall from Hartlepool in England, 5 feet 11 1/2 inches tall, wearing white trunks trimmed with a purple waistband and a blue top, against the Ring Magazine, WBC, WBA and IBF champion Claressa Shields, both boxers sporting perfect records, 12-0. Savannah Marshall scoring 10 knockouts in those 12 victories, one of the biggest punchers in women's boxing, and it's Marshall who's on the front foot. Claressa Shields on the perimeter of the boxing ring, in the neutral corner on the far side of the ring. Flicking and shaping with a jab is Savannah Marshall. Fired with a right hand to the body but didn't fully commit. And now Claressa Shields shooting out a left jab from around her kneecap. She fired it out 3 times but didn't really find a range. Then on the counter right hand she did. And another right hand. And he's punches in bunches from Claressa Shields. Savannah Marshall covering up. And he's in danger of being overwhelmed in the early stages of this opening round. Now she boxer, and who's looking to just put the gloves up to her temple to catch the shot. But now, intelligently, Claressa Shields goes down to the body and digs in 2 hard punches beneath the elbow of the WBO champion, Savannah Marshall. Now Savannah Marshall on the front foot as Claressa Shields is voluntarily retreated to the blue corner, just above our commentary position. She's trying to counter out of the corner, comes out, moving to her left and sneaking out a left jab. Terrific work to the body from Claressa Shields on that long torso of the WBO champion. Terrific portion of the round for Claressa Shields, who's looking to box in burst here. She retreats to the neutral corner on the far side of the ring, inviting pressure from Savannah Marshall, who has success with straight punches before Claressa Shields boxes her way out of there. But now she's put on the ropes on the near side of the ring once again. 2-minute rounds, members, and the 10-second clapper has already sounded. Savannah Marshall having success when Claressa Shields voluntarily retreats to the corner. But my goodness, Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields engaging and having a terrific portion of success in that round.
Doing what she said she would do, everything, getting close and letting her punches go, and she's got no fear of Marshall, she said.
No, not at all. And you know what, Claressa, one thing about Claressa, she's got that speed and she's got that reaction. Look at how good she's counter-punching, and she counter-punches with punches, and she really overwhelmed Marshall there. You know, her defense is great too. That was a great round by Claressa Shields.
Speed's obviously going to be a factor. Marshall wants it to be power. Claressa's not bothered. She can win it with speed, not with power, though. She showed there in that outburst, in that first round, that she can maybe win it with power as well.
Yeah, she just showed some power there as well. You know, she was just slipping and rolling. Her defense was beautiful. She was countering beautifully.
And I told you it would be a quiet first round, didn't I?
Yeah, great round, great round.
Both boxers up off their stools early to begin round number 2 in this battle for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world between 2 boxers who have a history that dates back to their amateur days. And the action is in the middle of the boxing ring. Savannah Marshall looking to establish her long left jab, but she's been beaten to the punch for these bent-arm clusters from Claressa Shields, who scores with a high arcing right around the corner and then drops down and scores with the left hand to the body. There's a stiff right cross from Savannah Marshall behind the left jab that caused Claressa Shields to tuck her backwards to the ropes on the far side of the ring. And now she has a wide-eyed look about her because she just tasted the potent backhand of Savannah Marshall, who's looking for success with that same shot once again. And looking to employ the Philly shell and box her way from under this pressure that she's facing is Savannah Marshall. Exclaves Claressa Shields, and it's resulting in a terrific trade-off in the middle of the ring before a clinch ensues. And Savannah Marshall just walks Claressa Shields back to the far side of the ring near the neutral corner. And now Savannah Marshall just bobbing and weaving, looking to evade the jab that is being shot out in rapid-fire fashion from Claressa Shields. Shields with a 3-shot salvo, left, right, left, and then tries a left, right down to the body. The boxers fall into a clinch. Claressa Shields initiating that clinch and holding Marshall round her waist before disengaging. Tried a left-right combination, but Marshall dipped her head to evade it, but then a roundhouse right, followed by a half-hook, half uppercut from the left hand. Left hand dug into the body from Shields, who's going downstairs. What an uppercut through the middle from Shields, countered by a shot from Savannah Marshall. Terrific exchanges, but his first and third boxing through that portion of the round from Shields, and she's getting the better of this trade-off once again. Busier, sharper, greater volume of punches, although Savannah Marshall still in there pitching. More success to the body once again. Action is a center ring. Counter left hook from Claressa Shields to the left jab being scored with by Savannah Marshall. And then double right hand success. Right cross success from Claressa Shields. Good head movement in the pocket from the American boxer. What a round. Terrific trade-off. Action all the way for the 2-minute stage.
Straightforward, old-fashioned toe-to-toe. Savannah Marshall caught and hurt Shields. Shields did look glazed. She did look dazed. Then she came back with even better shots. But they're both moving their feet. They're both letting their hands go. It's relentless. It's relentless, Ebony.
Oh, it's incredible. Claressa got chin checked and she passed the check. You know, that was incredible. They're just going toe-to-toe. They're both throwing those hands. And this is incredible. This is better than I even expected. I did not expect it to be this, like, toe-to-toe.
I did not expect it to take off like this at this stage. I thought we might see this in about round 5 or 6 with Savannah chasing.
I think Claressa has something to prove. I think Claressa's out there and she's trying to prove that she isn't scared and that she can take these shots because she's in there and she's giving it.
What a round, Evan.
Woo.
So into the third round we go in this battle for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world, and it has started off at a torrid pace. Claressa Shields throwing a greater volume of punches, but in the second round, a right hand from the knockout artist Savannah Marshall certainly got Shields' attention, and Savannah Marshall looking to quicken her feet now, dominating the space of center ring, trying to push Claressa Shields towards the periphery of the roped arena. They're looking to exchange jabs, neither boxer particularly accurate, before a clinch ensues over at the far side of the ring. Referee Victor Laughlin intervenes and prides the two boxers apart. Now again, Shields near the neutral corner on the far side of the ring. Defends the left hook that came in from Marshall, but she's inviting pressure. But what a clever left hook, right up combination off the turnbuckle from Claressa Shields. Dances off to a left before another two-shot success. That was really eye-catching boxing under heavy fire from Savannah Marshall by Claressa Shields. Terrific portion of the round as she lands another left hook as we are at the midpoint of round number 3. Good left hand sunk into the body by Claressa Shields. Savannah Marshall working with her jab, but a greater variety of punches, particularly lefts and rights, and the backhand notable from Claressa Shields. Marshall comes forward, terrific trip hammer of a left jab, snaps the braided head back of Claressa Shields, but Shields stands her ground and scores with her own stiff left. Right hand, left, right, left, and the right hand, left jab from Claressa Shields were potent indeed. Referee Victor Laughlin momentarily intervenes, and now Savannah Marshall applying pressure with Shields retreating voluntarily to the ropes. She scored to both head and body. Leading off the trade-off is Savannah Marshall's jab. Claressa Shields tried to come back, but she was inaccurate. Right hand success for Shields, left jab success for Savannah Marshall. Closing 10 seconds of this third round, at a contest that is being fought at a terrific clip between these 160-pound middleweight boxers. Good left hand sunk into the body by Claressa Shields is countered by a straight shot success upstairs, and a trade-off between the boxers at the bell. Let's listen into the blue corner and hear the instructions of Peter Fury in the direction of the WBO champion.
Yeah, he's slowing up now. Yeah?
Kerry Case is in there, obviously just looking at the eyebrows because she's marked up a little bit. Savannah, Peter not bothering to talk. He's just switching her gums. Like Kerry Case doing work. Ebony, the last 30 seconds there was savage.
Oh, it was incredible. Claressa's accuracy is on point. You know, she's just throwing punches and bunches, and they all seem to land. We can see Sav, you know, she's moving to the side here.
She's doing everything she can, Savannah.
She's doing everything she can, but I feel like she's getting overwhelmed. And those hard punches and that power that she's relying on so far isn't working to stop Claressa. She's coming and she's not stopping.
Spot on, Ebony.
The second consecutive fight in the United Kingdom for Claressa Shields tonight. Savannah Marshall, who's been put under fire from a burst of punches from Claressa Shields, who has accuracy with a backhand success and a left jab followed by a left hand to the body, and Claressa Shields out in aggressive fashion to begin this fourth round of boxing. Savannah Marshall keeping her shape nicely and working behind that long telescopic left jab, backing up Claressa Shields, who again is retreating towards the ropes of her own volition. Referee Victor Laughlin just pried the two boxers apart. Marshall comes forward behind a left jab and scores with a long right hand to the body. And now once again it's Claressa Shields tucking up while under fire from bent arm punches from Savannah Marshall. She's bobbing and weaving and riding a lot of these. Then Savannah Marshall goes down to the body with a right left. Shields counters with a shot upstairs before firing a right hand to the body and left hook, followed by another right hook. Savannah Marshall getting her long arms tied up at close range, and she puts Claressa Shields in a headlock and walks her backwards across the ring, forcing referee Victor Laughlin to separate the two boxers. Terrific action in this battle to determine the undisputed middleweight champion. Terrific work to the body, preceding an attack upstairs from Claressa Shields. Savannah Marshall always in there competing, but it's the sharper punch picking coming from Claressa Shields. 3 shots salvo, 2 to the body, ended by a right hook to the head as Claressa Shields bears her gun shield, but he's now backed up to the neutral corner on the far side of the ring. Savannah Marshall letting her hands go, putting a bit of an arm bar, which is immediately picked up by Victor Laughlin under the chin of Claressa Shields. Action resumes with Savannah Marshall applying the pressure. Claressa Shields bobbing and weaving on the ropes. And it's notable that when she lets her hands go and she lands a left hook at close range, terrific left uppercut to the body from Savannah Marshall. She's boxing in bursts here and then taking breathers. Now that's a beautiful right hand to the body, landed twice in quick succession from Savannah Marshall, from Claressa Shields before coming back upstairs. Savannah Marshall trying to compete, but she's being outpunched by the accuracy and volume and shot selection of Claressa Shields, who is fighting terrifically, particularly at close range, Steve.
It took a rocky turn then. They were throwing punches after the bell, standing toe-to-toe, not bothered about defence, just letting their hands go, Ebony. What a round, what a fight.
Incredible. I'm puffed out. I'm watching this. It is incredible. Do you know what? Claressa Shields, she can do, I know she can do this all night. We've seen her. She has work rate. That's what she does. She overwhelms. She throws punches and bunches. Savannah's starting to look really tired. The punches are looking, there's not much behind the punches anymore. She's kind of just tapping and kind of just trying to let her hands go, but there's not much in them.
It's the speed. It's Claressa's speed. She can't set herself, Savannah, because 4 punches coming. She sets herself again, 4 punches coming.
Yeah. You know, when you're throwing punches and bunches, I know my world title fight, I couldn't let Roman wasn't able to punch because she's throwing so many punches, and that's what Claressa is doing here. And so far, Savannah has no answer because her power's not working.
What a round.
Into the 5th round we go, and both boxers trot their way out to center ring. Savannah Marshall tucking up behind, high hold gloves. Claressa Shields letting her hands go, but didn't particularly find any accuracy. Now it's at long range. Savannah Marshall looking for that long left jab, standing stock still now near the neutral corner on the near side of the ring is Claressa Shields, and once again she backs up until her back touches the turnbuckle, bobbing and weaving, while Savannah Marshall is letting her hands go and looking for accuracy, but then a left hook while under fire from Claressa Shields with an eye-catching shot, clubbing away with heavy leather to both head and body is Savannah Marshall before Claressa Shields applies a bit of a headlock, putting the braided hair of Savannah Marshall beneath her right glove. The action resumes once again near the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. Oh, terrific left hook on the inside after a right hand went long from Claressa Shields, and another right cross, and another right cross. And again, the greater accuracy and greater volume is coming from the American boxer, who digs away with a 2-shot salvo to the body, tried to come back with success upstairs to the head. And while she's letting her hands go, is keeping Savannah Marshall occupied, and she's trying to box and fight back, but she's being outworked during these exchanges. Marshall continues to gamely press forward. 50 seconds to go in the 5th round. There she looks for a right cross on a downward trajectory, but then she's countered by a crisp left hook from Claressa Shields, who continues to keep terrific composure in the pocket and score with eye-catching singles. Again, she retreats to the ropes on the far side of the ring near the neutral corner, does Shields, bobbing and weaving, inviting pressure from Savannah Marshall, and then just applying the slip to cause the left jab of Savannah Marshall to go over a right shoulder. Good left hook to the body from Claressa Shields, followed by a left hook downstairs and a right hook upstairs. Terrific leverage on the left hook from Shields, which came behind the right hand. Savannah Marshall just endured a difficult portion of the round there. She's always competing, continuing to let her hands go. But for my money, the boxer getting the better of the exchanges with greater speed and precision and accuracy is Claressa Shields. A conclusion of the 5th round, another pulsating round where Claressa Shields fought magnificently up at close range once again.
And you know what? They're both doing something that we're maybe not catching initially. They're blocking so many of these shots. The defense is as good as the aggression and the letting their hands go. They're landing shots, they're blocking shots. This has taken women's boxing to a different level, Ebony, a different level in the 5 completed rounds we've had here tonight.
It's only 5 rounds of boxing, and it's already one of the greatest women's boxing fights I've ever seen.
Without
this is
a doubt.
Absolutely incredible. The skill and the slickness by Claressa when she's on the ropes and she's able to ride those shots and come back with clean, sharp counters. And then Savannah's toughness, and she's throwing those together and she's moving through her trunk, you know, to slip those punches. She's more of like trunk work to slip punches. This is incredible. Savannah's looking tired, though, I must say.
5 rounds completed, a potential 5 rounds to go in this battle for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. Both boxers immediately out to center ring. Savannah Marshall looking to establish her jab. Good left hand sunk into the body from Claressa Shields. Savannah Marshall coming for her own jab once again. Wasn't too far away, but then she was countered by a 2-shot salvo with straight punches from Claressa Shields. It's a terrific exchange in a phone booth up there in the boxing ring, and Shields backs up to the ropes once again, bombs her way off there with a left-right combination. Savannah Marshall bobbing and weaving and continues to press, her punches looping and not really with the accuracy that she or head trainer Peter Fury would like. The boxers take a momentary breather with 40 seconds gone, forcing referee Victor Loughlin to out like a crowbar and prise the two boxes apart. So Claressa Shields has retreated to the blue corner just above our commentary position, cutting her off and preventing her from escaping to her right. Is good footwork from Savannah Marshall, and she's landing with heavy leather now, getting through with bent-on punches at short and mid-range. Claressa Shields trying to bracket her head with her hands, but now imposing her physicality is Savannah Marshall, as she was locked up, but she bulldozed Claressa Shields all the way back across to the other side of the ring. And now she's pulling down on the head of Claressa Shields is Savannah Marshall. This one becoming increasingly physical, and the sublime skills that we've witnessed are being replaced by those of a street fight here at the O2 Arena on a Saturday night. It's becoming increasingly physical, and now the boxers get their hands free. Good shots with bent arms from Savannah Marshall, but then back with a crisp left hook comes Claressa Shields, but it's Marshall who's letting a greater number of punches go through this portion of the round. Short, nudging bent arm shots at short and mid-range, closing 20 seconds of this sixth round, as again Claressa Shields voluntarily retreats to the ropes. She's trying to make like Billy Joe Saunders and just watch that shot sail out of the ring, but it's been a very good round from Savannah Marshall. There she takes a stiff right cross, and another one from Claressa Shields. Rapier sharp right hand, followed by a left hook at the 10-second clap, and a right hand landed after the bell. A strong end to the round from Claressa Shields, but Savannah Marshall incredibly busy throughout the first 1 minute 50, Steve Bunce.
That was the first time where I thought that Marshall was just not getting to her, but was pushing her, was controlling things to a degree. And then Claressa caught her with those two crunching right hands. The first of them was a staggering shot.
Crazy, and Sav still standing. You know what? That was incredible, that round. Like, I feel like Sav really picked it up then, and she tried to use a little bit of, you know, like I want to say like roughhouse tactics, you know, try and put her off.
Let's have a little listen into Pete, who's in the corner, blue corner with Savannah.
Yeah.
And right on cue, he stops talking. That's just the way it works. They're not that panicked in the corner.
No.
Can they pull it out? Can they pull out an absolute lost cause?
I mean, I think she needs a knockout, and that's one thing that Sav has.
She needs it.
One thing that Sav has is that knockout power. So let's see if you know what happens in the next round.
So into the seventh round we go. Savannah Marshall with a really strong first minute and 50 seconds of the 2 minute frame in round number 6. Can she maintain the momentum that's established in that round? She's on the front foot once again. She's pressing Claressa Shields to the ropes just above our commentary position. Now Claressa Shields fighting out of the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. Takes the left hook upstairs, which she rode by swiveling to her left, but make no mistake, it landed on the temple from Savannah Marshall. Claressa Shields fighting her way out of the corner, but fighting fire with fire is Savannah Marshall. Now the tables are turned. Claressa Shields back in the space of center ring, looking for the uppercut, looking for the left hook of Savannah Marshall, and she lands with it. Followed by a left jab. She comes forward behind a double left jab and right hand, but terrific movements in the pocket from Claressa Shields, causing Marshall to miss, but Marshall keeps the attack going. Claressa Shields was momentarily sat on the ropes, but now she's back in the space of center ring. Triple jab, quadruple jab fired out by Claressa Shields. Stiff right cross once again. Went over the low-held left of Claressa Shields from Savannah Marshall. Terrific shot that she landed. Perhaps her best shot since the potent right cross she landed in round number 2. That sent Claressa Shields staggering backwards. And now looking to target the body with hooks on the inside is Savannah Marshall. The work rate of Claressa Shields has slowed notably. She's trying to bob and weave and block these shots, but Savannah Marshall keeps on coming, letting her hands go. Both boxers no doubt feeling the pace with 30 seconds to go in this 7th round, and holding the head of Claressa Shields with her left hand while clubbing away with her right like a woman chopping down a tree is Savannah Marshall. The action is in the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. Claressa Shields turns the tables and now puts Savannah Marshall on the ropes just above our commentary position, and now it's her turn to let go with a fusillade of punches. Marshall bites down, plants her feet in the canvas and looks to fire back, but for the second consecutive round, it's a strong conclusion to the round by Claressa Shields. But for the second consecutive round, Steve, Savannah Marshall, the busier boxer.
The busier boxer for the most of the round. And then there's just that little click at the last. It's almost like she'd heard the buzzer for the last 10. And you can see Claressa digging her shoes in to let her punches. She will not be denied here, Claressa.
No.
Even if she's lost the round, she'll win the last 10 seconds.
100%. You know what? She is not a 3-division undisputed world champion, 12 times champion for no reason.
I think
incredible.
this is not only is this, arguably the best women's fight I've ever seen,
yeah.
but more than that, it's the best Claressa Shields I've ever seen,
definitely.
and it's the best Savannah Marshall I've ever
definitely.
seen.
It's the best of both, and I think it's the best women's boxing fight I have ever seen.
What a privilege! What a privilege!
I was just
what a pleasure!
I'm so blessed to be here
here.
ringside.
Blessed is the word.
Incredible.
Both boxers taking every second of the 60 and then some before rising up off their stools to answer the bell for round number 8. They make their way out to center ring. It's Claressa Shields who pulls the trigger first, behind sharp left-right combinations. Then she's trying to free her hands with the two boxers standing shoulder to shoulder and dig away to the body. Countering with the left hand to the body is Savannah Marshall. But Claressa Shields, after being outworked for the majority of rounds 6 and 7, is looking to be altogether busy here in round number 8. The action's on the ropes just above our commentary position. The boxers got themselves in a bit of a tangle, but now it's back at short and mid-range, and it's Claressa Shields looking to get busy, but she's being matched in the work rate departments by Savannah Marshall, who is busy with bent arm shots, perhaps not utilizing the height and reach of her 5'11" frame, but my goodness, what fighting spirit to go along with their immense skill set both of these boxers are showing. Left-right combination from Claressa Shields catapults her off the ropes back to the space of center ring. And now it's at mid-range once again as the two boxers standing toe-to-toe, chest-to-chest. A physical more length is used at close range. Blistering hand speed from Claressa Shields once more, but she was inaccurate with her work. And the two boxers locking forearms once again and twining their arms like pretzels up there in the boxing ring. Referee Victor Laughlin has to intervene once more as Claressa Shields find her head beneath the right armpit of Savannah Marshall. On the resumption, she fired with a left jab and an overhand right, but she couldn't really find the range. She's breathing through an open mouth. Is Claressa Shields, and now she mugs and sticks her tongue out in the direction of Savannah Marshall as she's operating off the ropes in the red corner on the far side of the ring. Now she puts Marshall on the ropes in that same position and is looking to work away. But the accuracy decreasing from both boxers. We are deep into the 8th round. The 10-second clapper imminent, but then a moment of quality from left hooks and right hooks from Claressa Shields. And will she look to launch a rally as Savannah Marshall looked for a right uppercut that wasn't too far away. Right hook to the body, not too far away from Savannah Marshall. Bobbing and weaving on the ropes and performing the salute with the right glove is Claressa Shields. What a round of boxing. Two-way action, Steve Bunce, during that 2-minute stanza.
Another round, another memorable, epic round. Both had moments in control, both had moments. She did something there, Claressa. She missed with her right hand and she pulled it back and threw the same shot and adjusted it and connected with it. She thinks fast, she throws fast. She's a natural gifted fighter. As you said, you don't win all those belts. You don't become unified for nothing, Ebony. She's outstanding tonight.
She's outstanding. Her IQ is incredible, and that's what I said from the start. Sav's never been in there with someone with this kind of IQ. You know, it's a different, and just everything. You know, I think that Claressa's proving a lot of people here, especially in the UK, and is why she calls herself the GOAT. This is an incredible fight. But mind you, I think Savannah really picked up in that last round as well. She's coming up. She knows she needs to. She needs a knockout.
She might have won the last 3 rounds.
So we go into the 9th round. Savannah Marshall was the first to rise to answer the bell. Claressa Shields taking every second of the 60. Now she's on her tiptoes, moving counterclockwise to her left, away from the lead left hook of Savannah Marshall, but potentially into the right hand. Savannah Marshall on the front foot, pressing the action, pinning Claressa Shields to the ropes. Claressa Shields looking to fight off the ropes once again as the two boxers hauling in punches just above the belt line of their opponents. Tucking up behind high-held gloves is Claressa Shields. She fired in a big roundhouse right, but it was off the mark. The left right that followed was altogether more accurate, and the right hand just snaked behind the left glove of Savannah Marshall. Referee Victor Laughlin separated the two, and it's Claressa Shields who is first to the punch once again. But increasing amounts of clinching, punctuating the action here now. Midway through this penultimate round, exchange of left jabs. Shields has appeared to be sharper as Savannah Marshall continues to pepper her opponent with a left jab, and then a left-right combination gets between the star-spangled banner gloves of Claressa Shields. Marshall wills her way forwards, has success while Shields is on the ropes. Shields gets back to the space of center ring. Operating behind that Philly shell of a defense, she's bobbing and weaving and making Shields miss. But while she was doing so, she wasn't looking to land any offense of her own. And then on the resumption, a 3-shot combination, penetrating the gloves of Savannah Marshall from penetrating the gloves of Claressa Shields from Savannah Marshall. Successful portion of the round for her. So Claressa Shields trying to establish a jab and roundhouse right. But while she was firing that roundhouse right, she was fed 2 stiff jabs from Savannah Marshall. Terrific action once again, approaching the 10-second clapper of this penultimate round. Savannah Marshall has been accurate with her jab. Claressa Shields has looked for eye-catching backhands, but hasn't been particularly accurate in this round. There she does land with a good left jab, but she retreats to the ropes and is inviting pressure once again. She scores with a good 1-2 combination, but not before she was fed another flicking, darting lead left from Savannah Marshall. Terrific round once again, Steve.
Some brilliant stuff from Claressa Shields, and Savannah Marshall is relentless. Claressa Shields sensible, smart enough to duck, to move, to block, but still taking shots on her arms and her elbows, and that means that she's not able to let her hands go in reply. What a fight! The intensity is outrageous, Ebony.
Yeah, Savannah definitely picked up the work right now. You know, she's just throwing the shots because she needs to let her hands go because they need to land. Incredible. I was like speechless through that round. Incredible. These girls are really putting on a spectacular show tonight.
It's a display, it's a performance, it's memorable, it's going to be unforgettable. And the crowd, by the way, we've neglected them, Ronald. Look at them. It's a party at the O2, my friend.
Well, Victor Loughlin brings both boxers together to exchange a touch of gloves before we begin the 10th and final round of what has been an absolutely pulsating battle for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. When the action resumes, it's Savannah Marshall on the front foot. She gets through with a right uppercut and then a right hook, and that prompts Claressa Shields to try and hold her feet, but she's being backed up by the unrelenting pressure and the non-stop advance of Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall pinning her opponent in the blue corner just above our commentary position. Comes forward behind a left jab, and she's having success with lefts and rights. And again, a clipping left hook checks the chin of Claressa Shields from Savannah Marshall. In the early stages of the contest, she was retreating to the corners and evading punches beautifully, but her reflexes just slowed a little bit, and she's being crowded and mauled by the non-stop punching of the WBO champion from Hartlepool. Now the action is back in the space of center ring as the two boxers ploughing a furrow in the canvas, really digging their feet in, standing their ground and letting their hands go. The accuracy may have decreased as Savannah Marshall continues to will away forward behind left and right. Double left hand success to the body from Claressa Shields, followed by a right hand and a left hand over the top. Beautifully crisp left-right combination from Claressa Shields. Shot on an upward trajectory, then a right hand to the head once again from Shields as Savannah Marshall was having success to the body. Savannah Marshall walks Claressa Shields to the ropes on this near side of the ring, near the blue corner. Now the boxers take up position in center ring, but their arms are tying one another up before Claressa Shields gets her hands free and is bursting away with punches to the body. Savannah Marshall trying to reply. Both boxers desperately tired. The final 20 seconds of what has been an absorbing encounter. On the resumption is Claressa Shields, who is the aggressor. Nice nudging right uppercut scored on the inside by Savannah Marshall. And on the 10-second clapper, both boxers planting their feet into the ring canvas and letting their hands go, resulting in a torrid exchange. The boxers punching right up until the final bell. It's barely audible here. Such is the cacophonous sound being produced by the capacity crowd at the O2 Arena in acknowledgement of a battle for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world that more than lived up to the pre-fight billing. A rivalry that has simmered for more than a decade has finally been contested in the professional ranks here at the O2 Arena. And my goodness, this has exceeded all expectations in the battle to determine who is the best 160-pound boxer in the world. Both boxers raised their arms immediately. They both did enough, but it was a blistering start made by Claressa Shields before Savannah Marshall willed her way back into the action. We're going to the judges' scorecards, and it will be the verdicts of Steve Gray, Frank Lombardi and Luigi Buscarelli that determine who will be the victor at the conclusion of this magnificent bout. Steve Bunce.
And Claressa Shields had to be the best Claressa Shields we've seen. We've seen her open up like that before, sure. We've seen bits of skill like that before. We know she's got a great engine. We know she's got a great chin. But we saw all of those again in the opening 2 rounds here. We did have eight more rounds of it. Claressa Shields showed me things tonight I wasn't quite sure she had, as did Savannah Marshall. They pushed themselves. Well, it's, you know, it's. I've got to be honest with you, I thought the last 5 or 6 rounds, there's a lot of tight rounds in there. I think I got that fight 7-3 to Shields. That's, I think, how I scored it, 7-3.
It was very tight indeed. Claressa Shields started so effectively, picking her punches with terrific sharpness, evading shots in the corner, but then Savannah Marshall, Ebony, willed her way back into it with her unrelenting advances, letting punches go from both flanks, proving her fighting spirit in addition to her immense skill.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I've just put a tweet out saying greatest women's fight of all time, in my opinion.
No problem.
So Big Mo is up in the ring. He's received the tallied up scorecards from the 3 judges at ringside. It's a very close contest. Savannah Marshall came on strong at the end, but we cannot discount the blistering start made by Claressa Shields. Let's get the official announcement that will determine who is the new
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of 10 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard for the official decision. Judge Gray scores at 96-94, while judges Lombardi and Buscarelli score at 97-93. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, and the new undisputed women's middleweight champion of the world, the GOAT, Claressa Shields.
Claressa Shields is positively bouncing atop the canvas of the boxing ring, overcome with emotion at the enormity of what she has just accomplished. A unanimous decision winner over her familiar and indeed bitter rival Savannah Marshall. Scorecards of 96-94 from Steve Gray and 97-93 from Frank Lombardi and Luigi Buscarelli at the conclusion of 10 pulsating 2-minute rounds. And Claressa Shields roars in delight at having ended the undefeated run put together by Savannah Marshall. She takes her WBO strap as well to become undisputed middleweight champion for the 2nd time in her glittering professional career. She's now a 3-time undisputed champion, twice at middleweight, once at 154, and in this battle between undefeated middleweight champions to determine the best middleweight boxer on the planet, it is Claressa Shields who has prevailed, getting a measure of revenge from the amateur defeat she suffered 10 years ago, and she claims all of the belts here to extend her undisputed status and extend her perfect record. Steve Bunce, what a contest. Claressa Shields the victor.
Every single round had something. Most of the rounds had something different. Shields was brilliant in the first 4 rounds, absolutely blistering and brilliant, and Savannah Marshall did well to stick with her. Once or twice when Savannah was caught with 5 and 6 punch combinations. No missing tonight from Shields. No 7-punch combos with 3 of them missing. She was a different fighter, a transformed fighter, a fighter chasing legacy, and a fighter with a dangerous point to prove, and desperate to show that there's no lack of desire in Claressa Shields. It was brutal and savage through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to the end. It was relentless. Shields had to fight back from the ropes when she was being put under pressure, and also physical pressure. Marshall never stopped trying, but she was rightly short in the end. And 2 of the judges had it the way I think that Ebony and I had it, or about the way we had it, which was 7-3 over 10 rounds. That doesn't mean it's not a hard, tight, brilliant fight. It's just 7-3.
Yeah, like the rounds were close, you know, but Claressa edged them. I think the first half was clear for me for Claressa, and it was just the last few that were close.
Yeah, so the first 4 were straightforward. The next couple were tight, and then the last 4, I think Marshall could have done with, you know, winning, if not all of them, certainly 2 or 3 of them, making it a 7-3. I had no problem with that at all, and I don't think Marshall had a problem with that. Do you, Ebony? You
no,
saw her
not
fight.
at all. I think, it wasn't like the last fight, but I definitely think that the right girl got the win, got a hand raised, and rightly so. Very well deserved. The GOAT.
But it was, Ebony, a better fight than It was certainly a better fight than I expected. I knew we'd have a good fight. I thought we'd have a Claressa masterclass, defensive boxing, maybe opening up if he was trapped. I didn't think she was going to go out. It just shows how much, if you don't mind me saying so, Marshall's been under her skin. She went and had a fight.
Yep, she most certainly did. She's just speaking to the television company here at the O2 Arena. Steve Bunce has left the commentary position. He's going to don the roving microphone in a bid to speak to both the victor and hopefully the vanquished at the conclusion of that contest. But what a fight, my goodness. Between two undefeated fighters who have history from the amateurs, and they let it all hang out at the apex of this historic evening of boxing here at the O2 Arena. Ebony Bridges, we can see just how much it means to Claressa Shields. We'll hopefully hear from her in just a few moments' time. But after all the pressure she put on herself with her public pronouncements and the manner in which she prepared, just give us a sense of what she will be feeling at having been declared the victor and extending her undefeated run here to become the undisputed champ at middleweight for the second time.
Definitely. You know, she's never stopped having confidence in herself. There's one thing that Claressa has, and that is confidence. And you know what? I think now just getting that final decision and knowing that she's won and that she's kind of, I know she had a lot of hate, and she said to everyone afterwards, that I'll prove you, and I hope they're the same when she wins. And you know what? I think that's that feeling inside of proving people wrong, and a lot of people, especially here in the UK, obviously because it's Savannah's hometown. I think that's an overwhelming feeling within itself.
And as for the woman who has just been edged out on a unanimous points decision verdict, Savannah Marshall, we said that there isn't even though they both came in at 12-0, there isn't the same depth on Savannah's resume as there is on that of Claressa Shields. But how much has she grown in this, the biggest fight of her life tonight? Even though Savannah Marshall, how much has Savannah grown, even though the verdict hasn't gone in her favor?
Oh, definitely. Like that's the fights that you have. She hasn't been into that kind of fight, that kind of war fight, and that's just going to grow her. Like we said before with Steve, a loss, it doesn't mean in the women's boxing, a loss isn't the end. Like, it's not that. Claressa Shields is incredible. Savannah just got beat by a 3 division, undisputed, 10 time or 12 times world champion, and she held her own and she went to war with that. It was incredible. Great fight. You can't be unhappy with that. She can't be unhappy with that. Brilliant fight. Great for history.
Most certainly is. And to give you an idea of the dominance that Claressa Shields is demonstrating in the professional ranks, in the 4-belt era, 5 women have ascended to undisputed status. Cecilia Breakus, Jessica McCaskill, Katie Taylor, Franchon Cruz-Dezern, and Claressa Shields. And this is now the third time that Claressa Shields has garnered all of the belts to become an undisputed champion. The second time at 160 to go along with the undisputed status she secured at 154 super welterweight. So respect being shown between the two boxers at the conclusion. There is a rematch clause in the contest, and one wonders whether we're going to see this one again, because judging from the reaction of the crowd, Ebony, they would love to see it again, but because they both came in with championship belts, a rematch clause is available should the promotional companies choose to exercise it, and most importantly the boxers. But my goodness, it's that competitive that we wouldn't mind seeing it again, even though it was a justified unanimous points verdict for Claressa Shields.
Oh, I'd definitely be happy to see that again. No doubt.
So all of the bad blood between them, one wonders how that will sit now. Also part of our 5 Live boxing team tonight is Lauren Parker, the IBO Intercontinental super flyweight champion. And Lauren, how inspirational was it for you, somebody who aspires to ascend to world title status? How inspirational has it been for you to be ringside on a night such as this and see such a magnificent performance on this grand stage here at the O2 Arena?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. I don't really get to come to these big events that often, but I have recently, and obviously got the opportunity to be sat here doing a little bit of commentating earlier as well, and being that close, watching such an amazing fight, 2 great fighters, probably one of the best female fights that I've ever seen. And yeah, it's really inspiring, because you know, I've won my first title the other week, and I want to push on to bigger and better things. And, you know, when you see that and how they perform and what the standard is, you know, it just makes me want to go out there, get back in the gym, get stuck in, and, you know, raise my game as well. So, yeah, very inspirational, and, yeah, what a great night.
Most certainly has been. We hope to hear from the protagonist in just a few moments' time here at the O2 Arena. Steve Bunce is poised, waiting to speak to both boxers just as soon as they make themselves available, but they understandably are posing for pictures that are being captured for posterity. And it's Savannah Marshall who is just exiting the boxing ring from her blue corner. Steve Bunce on the other side of the ring, awaiting the arrival of Claressa Shields. But what a night. And all of the women, including the woman to my right, Ebony Bridges, the IBF Bantamweight World Champion, when they started boxing, they were less than enlightened times. Savannah Marshall has talked about how she wasn't allowed to box. She went to Headland Boys Club up in Hartlepool. She wasn't allowed in. Katie Taylor has the same story. So too does Caroline Dubois. But now, as Lauren Parker's just been talking about, we see athletes of this excellence performing in front of a global stage, and it's so inspiring for young boxers who want to take up the sport. Ebony, they have role models that they hope to emulate, performing at the highest level.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, only in Australia, women's boxing was only illegal till 2008. You know what I mean? So it's just come so far, and it's going incredible.
Most certainly. Well, we're going to hand over to Steve Bunce now, because he has got the new undisputed middleweight, or the new and once again undisputed middleweight champion Claressa Shields with him now. Steve, it's over to you.
Claressa, so many belts, so many championship wins. That one was special. That's the best I've ever seen you by some considerable distance.
It was a great fight. Savannah Marshall is definitely a tough competitor, but I knew I was the better fighter tonight, and I just did everything I could to get the win.
In the first 4 rounds, you were brilliant, you were flawless, and then it got harder and harder. Even though you were winning rounds, they were still hard rounds. How hard did you feel it was, Claressa?
It was really hard because round 7, she hit me with a shot in round 7, and I couldn't see out my right eye for the rounds, I think 6, 7, and 8. My vision came back, and I was able to do more, but I was still fighting with my vision out, and I was like, look, if she hit me with a big shot, you make sure you hit her back with 2 or 3 big shots, and she dropping that left, come over with that right hand and catch her. And it was like I was catching her, but she's so big and strong, she like, it didn't hurt her, she thought, but I just kept landing it over and over again, and it was having some effect.
Some of the punches you were connected with were absolutely brilliant. They were perfect, and as you say, she was walking through them, and you know you can punch.
Yeah, she's a big girl. She's big for the weight class, but that's why I went down to the body and I was chopping her down there. And just have to not be on the ropes. I think if I wouldn't have been on the ropes, it would have been a wider decision for me.
Well, she pushed you back to the ropes because, as you say, she's a big girl.
Yeah, and I pushed her back against the ropes because I'm a big girl too.
Hey, listen, no one's ever going to doubt that you're a big girl. For you personally, does it really mean as much as I think it means after that 10-year wait, that little blip, that little defeat that time? Does it mean that much to you?
I'm 3-time undisputed champ. 2 times at 160. It means everything to me. People always say, Claressa, you're the self-proclaimed GOAT. No, I'm not. I can be any female boxer you put in front of me. Rather she's a big puncher, faster, slicker, taller, whatever you want to say. I can adapt and I can win and I can bite down when it gets hard against anybody. So I am the greatest woman of all time. And if nobody believed me when I said it back then, they gotta believe me now because Savannah Marshall hits like a damn man.
You know what? No one's ever going to doubt you being the greatest woman of all time. No one's going to doubt that. Let me ask you this. It was good to see the pair of you at the end talking. What was said?
Just that we're both. I told her she's a great fighter and that she punches hard and that I appreciate competing against her. We both did everything we could today, and then it came out to be my decision because I did more. But I would say it's a mutual respect, you know what I'm saying? She's a good fighter, but I always knew that I was better, and I knew that throughout the years of 10 years, you know, I have done more. I have done more than Savannah, but it was like she was getting the credit because she beat me 10 years ago. Now I won where it matters. With all the belts on the line, 20,000 people, millions across the world, I did it. And then I proved today, I am the greatest woman of all time from Flint, Michigan. Ain't that something?
That is something, you know, and you can be really proud. And I'll tell you now, it was a privilege being ringside tonight and being part of it. It was an absolute privilege to be working at ringside tonight.
I appreciate everybody who came here to support me, to support Savannah, to support this women's card. I mean, I dreamed of things like this. I just never thought I would get to experience it, so I'm just so happy to be here, and I would love to come back.
Yeah, and finally, don't steal my questions. That's going to be my question. Are you coming back?
I mean, you guys got a lot of world champs at 154. I would love to fight against them. Whoever the fans think is the best, that's who I'll fight.
Yeah, well, listen, the fans do think. And Mark Taffy, you're here, manager. Mark, it was a privilege tonight. It was brilliant. I thought she was brilliant this evening. Can we get her back here? The crowd love her. They started off booing her. They ended up loving her.
Of course you can get her back here. The fans love her. She loves the fans here. They showed her respect from day one. And listen, the two girls went at it leading up to the fight because that's what they do. But did you see the respect that they showed afterwards? That's what takes women's boxing to another level. And that's what Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall did. And Claressa, yes, nobody doubting that GOAT label now.
Claressa, thank you very much indeed, and we'll see you back in London.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark. Ronald, it's nights like this that we remind ourselves just why we love what we do and just how privileged we are and how proud we should be for being anywhere near the ring on nights like this, Ronald.
Indeed. Sentiments that we all share, Steve. Steve Bunce getting the post-fight thoughts of the winner. The still undefeated and once again undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Claressa Shields, prevailing in an epic tussle over her familiar adversary from the amateur days, Savannah Marshall, prevailing on a unanimous points decision verdict. Scorecards of 96-94 from Judge Steve Gray and 97-93 from judges Frank Lombardi and Luigi Buscarelli. So, at the conclusion of what has been a historic night here at the O2 Arena, an all-female card headlined in a showdown for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. It just remains for me, Ronald McIntosh, to wrap things up and say on behalf of our entire team here, Darren Reese, Ebony Bridges, Lauren Parker, and 5 Live regular Steve Bunce, saying thank you for staying with us. And now we're going to hand you back to Stephen Nolan.